Welcome, partners of Startup Canada. I finally found a video format that works so that I can get you the long-awaited online version of the webinar that we presented about a week and a half ago. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick run-through of the status of the launch campaign. I'm going to show you a few elements of what's going on the website, and then I'm going to give you some kind of key tips for how you can engage really early in the campaign. So I'm Mark Waters. I'm the Partner Manager for Startup Canada. Let's jump into it. Alright, so first of all, for the presentation, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the movement for those who may not be familiar, focus on some of the challenges that we're dealing with, the startup context for why the organization was created and our structure, the nature of what it means to be a partner, the magnitude of the campaign so far and our reach, and then jump into the launch plan, the roadmap to action, and a little bit of the activity menu or things that you can do to engage the community at this stage, with some examples from members of the community. So look forward to running you guys through this. So first of all, what is Startup Canada? Well, together with our partners and our community and our sponsors and our patrons, we are a grassroots entrepreneur-led movement with a four-part mission. We want to give a collective voice to Canadian entrepreneurs. We want to promote a vibrant and pervasive culture of entrepreneurship throughout this country. We want to create a unified brand that every entrepreneur is proud to wear and proud to support. And we want to develop a national strategy that's going to put entrepreneurs at the center of our economic and innovation ecosystems. So why does entrepreneurship matter? Well, we learned from the Jenkins panel that innovation is the ultimate source of prosperity, quality of life, long-term competitiveness. And we know from Drucker that innovation is the specific instrument of entrepreneurship. And this is more than just, innovation in terms of a product. This is process, this is market, this is service. The OECD expanded its definition last year, and we're encompassing everything. So innovation is a specific instrument of entrepreneurs. And then we learned from Chernicht that without entrepreneurs, great ideas are never going to get to the marketplace, and great Canadian companies will never develop to create high-quality jobs here at home. So how do these ideas connect? Well, we know that prosperity depends on innovation, we know that innovation belongs to entrepreneurs, and we know that entrepreneurs belong here in Canada, and it's time we made them feel welcome. And our mission is to celebrate entrepreneurs and make them feel like they've got a home. So why do we build this movement? I think we all know that entrepreneurs exist as part of highly complex innovation and economic development ecosystems. There are a multitude of players, a lot of moving parts to these systems. We need to get them connected and working together. We also know that though we have some pockets of great entrepreneurship across this country, the pervasive entrepreneurial culture is still missing. And we've got to work to infuse entrepreneurship in everything we do and make it synonymous with Canadian prosperity and quality of life. And there's no clear strategy and no national enabling force to connect all these moving parts together. So we want to do that. We want to give a unified voice to entrepreneurs. We want to empower them to create their own shared vision for the future. And we want to be able to help them get there, defining that path to success, and then running with them hand in hand to make it a reality. So who are we? Very quickly, we're all entrepreneurs. The team, absolutely, crazy entrepreneurial, all getting involved in our own businesses. So we're at the heart of this movement. Our board, the same situation, except they're seasoned serial entrepreneurs and investors from across this country. They've got a lot of experience in the entrepreneurial space. Our patrons, some of the biggest pioneers, trailblazers in Canadian entrepreneurship. Our mysterious National Advisory Council, which we can't talk about yet, has extremely high caliber entrepreneurs. You will know these names as soon as you hear them. They're big. And then, of course, our bloggers and our social media supporters are some of Canada's most influential people who are speaking up publicly about entrepreneurship and the benefits it can bring to them and their personal lives and the country and their communities. So this is great. We have a great team. They're all entrepreneurs. In terms of our partners, well, working together the way nature intended, we have a hand-in-hand relationship with our partners. Many of you already know us and have already been working with us, and the relationship is great. You're using our brand to elevate your own within the community. You're letting us amplify your success stories online and blogging about you, which is great. And you're helping to spread our ideas and share the movement with your communities all across Canada. And on the subject of then the operational component, as opposed to the communications one and the celebration one, is that you're actually working with us on the ground to host the town halls and the events that will be critical to informing our strategic plan for the future, the direction we're going to set for Canadian entrepreneurship. And of course, you guys are awesome. Alpha to our Omega, not a joke. You are the living, driving force behind our initiative. You are out there engaging the community. You're going to be the groups, the individuals, the people, the organizations that turn our plans into action by rallying your community around a set of common objectives and helping them get there. And you're providing us right now with the critical resources that we need to keep this movement thriving. Communications and social engagement. Volunteers are pulled from communities all across the country to support Startup Canada. You're providing us with the venues, the logistics, and of course the inspiring ideas for change from your community that are going to make everything possible, and they're going to help us succeed in our mission and our vision. So what do we know so far about the movement? Well, it's massive, absolutely massive. 25,000 entrepreneurs already engaged. We've got 130 events across the country in town halls and fringe events, 300 partners backing us up, 12 steering committees all across the country with 180 fervent entrepreneurial supporters. We've got actually 3,500 now registered subscribers tracking our every move, and that's on the way to 4,000. We've got 1,500 followers on Twitter in our first 2 weeks, and I should note that on our first day of launch, we were trending on Twitter right under Justin Bieber, so we were the topic of discussion in Canada in business for the day that we launched. That's absolutely awesome. Top 10 websites in the entire world. 250 volunteers are driving us forward every single day, and 14 influential bloggers that I mentioned are speaking up publicly and they're spreading the message that entrepreneurship is empowering everyone. So the movement is thriving. So what's this giant number here? 34 million. It's a lot of people. That's the number of Canadians that we want to get engaged in Startup Canada and the Startup Canada movement. And that is everything. So entrepreneurship is empowering everyone. We're talking about, school children who are looking at entrepreneurship as a viable career option, to university students, working with their friends to create businesses over the summer to get some great entrepreneurial experience, to the realization that when people are losing their jobs in tough economic times, they've got a skill set that's valuable and often can be forged into a viable business. And there's so many more people that can be empowered by entrepreneurship, and that's the message. So our 3 stages to success. Of course, engage right now. It's about culture, community building, the cross-country tour, and creating a collective vision for our entrepreneurial future in Canada. This is the exciting part of the tour that's all about celebration and building awareness of entrepreneurs, and then doing some on-the-ground work as well to find out what are the challenges that our Canadian entrepreneurs face, and how are we going to help them address them, and how are we going to rally our community resources to do so. This is an exciting phase. Refine and Align, October to November. This is where we really want to then take those ideas that we're getting from the cross-Canada tour, refine them with our advisory board, with our national advisors, with our partners, and prioritize the top challenges and solutions. We're looking for 10 to 15 top challenges and solutions that we can address over the next 3 years. We want to develop a schedule to make sure that we're putting some milestones that we're going to reach on the path to success, and we, of course, critically have to align the resources behind this movement to make it successful. We need to have people taking ownership of the tasks and activities, accountable for those tasks and activities, and getting celebrated and supported and held up as heroes and success stories when they are able to achieve their objectives. That's what we're about. And of course, when we launch, we want to monitor, we want to support, and we want to feed information back in. So make sure we're on track, give all the help that we possibly can to help everybody on the ground, make Startup Canada and the campaign and the launch a success. And as we learn lessons throughout this campaign, we want to feed them back in constantly so the movement is evergreen, always growing, always changing in response to the community. This is a bit of a larger kind of image. I won't describe it in detail, but it's our roadmap to action. Just highlight on the left, we're pulling information from a wide range of sources, not just town halls, but also private interviews, bloggers, social media, presentation conferences, and research, feeding it into what we call the big, huge ideas database. This is a repository of all of the great ideas for how you can start up Canada, and then we got to filter that down. We got to prioritize a couple of key activities, fit them into the categories which right now stand as culture and community growth, supporting the startup, high-growth firms, and global entrepreneurship. And then we've got to make sure that we pull that information through 2 ways. One, refine it back to the community so that as we move across Canada, we're constantly iterating and getting more focus to these ideas and a better sense for how we can implement them. And then also reviewing them with our high-level advisors to see, are we coming up with the right practical solutions that are going to find success when they hit the ground in Canada, and that these community-backed endeavors are going to lead to the change we want to see in Canada's entrepreneurial future. So we move that forward. We then pop out at the end with the Startup Canada Living Manifesto. That's a vision for our entrepreneurial movement for the future and a 3 to 5 year plan. I think we're going to stay focused kind of on the idea of a 3-year plan. So we've got concrete, crisp deliverables that we reach and achieve, and then we continue to move that forward. Our delicious offerings, a lot of you have wondered, how can you get engaged? Some of you are hosting town halls, some of you are doing other fringe events like startup drinks or startup barbecues, but there's a wide range of activities at all scales. You don't have to be hosting 100 people. You could be doing something as small but as critically important as retweeting our messages online. So we've got flash mobs which are taking place this weekend. We've got blogs and vlogs where you can come online and share a story in video or written format. We've also got the poster and sticker campaigns which are great, and you can access all the graphics online, which I'll show you in a sec. And you can tweet the message, tag us along to other events, or contribute through any of our Get Involved sections on the website, like the wiki and the Spread the Word. So there's a lot of ways that you can get engaged, and each one of them is critical, and they're at all scales. And I'll show those to you in a sec. So now let's take a quick look at a partner in action. WeTech Alliance has been an absolute superstar in the Startup Canada launch campaign. And what I wanted to show you here is their Twitter background. It's big, it's beautiful, it's excellent, it's taken right off the graphics site, and it really helps to brand the Startup Canada message and WeTech as a supporter. So we love to see this type of stuff in action. We've also then gone on their homepage, which is great, a key feature of when the Startup Canada Tour is coming to Windsor, Essex. And even building beyond that, they did another